JBN, we keep you informed. Man shot to death in Montego Bay. A security guard was shot and killed in downtown Montego Bay on the night of Tuesday, September 24. The deceased has been identified as 26-year-old Lamar Lawrence of Hendon, Norwood, also in St. James. According to the police, at about 10:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Lawrence was standing in the vicinity of a soup vendor's handcart at the intersection of St. James Street and Bottom Union Street when a man walked over to him and hurled a barrage of expletives at him. The man then brandished a handgun and chased Lawrence a short distance away and opened fire, hitting him multiple times to his upper body. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Lawrence was found lying along the roadway with multiple gunshot wounds. Man charged with brother's murder, another nabbed on assault charges. The police are reporting the arrest on charge of a St. James man implicated in the murder of his brother and a Manchester man accused of assaulting a woman. According to the police in St. James, 33-year-old Kevin McLeod, otherwise called Pussman, a laborer in Roehampton, allegedly used a machete to inflict wounds to his brother, 28-year-old Dale Hilton, during a dispute on Wednesday, September 18. Hilton was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. McLeod, who later turned himself in, accompanied by his pastor, was charged with murder. He is scheduled to appear before the St. James Parish Court on Wednesday, October 2. In the second incident, 29-year-old Samuel Thomas, otherwise called Samba, of Manchester address, was charged with assault at common law, illegal possession of firearm, and unlawful wounding. The police said that on Saturday, September 12, about 8:45 p.m., Thomas attacked a female at her home in Topsham, Manchester. She managed to escape and report the incident. Thomas was later apprehended and charged. He is to appear before the Manchester Parish Court. Bus operator with more than 1,000 traffic tickets fined $84,000. St. Catherine bus operator, 40-year-old Roger Bartley, who was arrested after it was discovered that he had 1,028 outstanding traffic tickets, was on Monday fined $84,000. Bartley was arrested during an operation by the police traffic department last Friday. Also had his driver's license suspended for 2 years. 39-year-old Andrew Bailey, a taxi operator of Tavern Crescent, Kingston 6, who was also arrested in the operation for having 272 outstanding tickets, was fined $72,000 and had his driver's license suspended for 1 year. Additionally, 36-year-old Dwayne Barrett, a taxi operator of Stony Hill, St. Andrew, who had 189 outstanding tickets, was fined $54,000 and had his driver's license suspended for 2 years. Holness demands firm action in wake of public transport chaos. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has directed National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang and the security forces to take firm action to curb indiscipline on the nation's roads, which he said has reached a level where it is a threat to our economy and public order and safety. In a statement on Tuesday night, Holness said he had been briefed by Chang, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson, and Transport Minister Robert Montague on the incidents which Monday night left 2 persons dead. The resulting strike action by Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC bus drivers, left hundreds of Jamaicans stranded on the nation's roads. Those killed were JUTC employee, 34-year-old Michael Donaldson, otherwise called Biggs of Pull Bay, and a taxi driver, 37-year-old Akina Britton, otherwise called Bubinal of Kingston 10 address. Donaldson was shot dead hours after Britton was fatally stabbed, allegedly in a dispute with a JUTC bus driver. The killings led to chaos Tuesday morning as JUTC bus drivers failed to turn out to transport commuters, and rumors swirled, including on social media, that JUTC employees and facilities were under threat of retaliatory attack. I have directed the Minister of National Security and the security forces to take firm action in this regard and to ensure that the incidents are thoroughly investigated and those responsible feel the full force of the law, including those persons who misuse social media to create panic in the wake of Monday night's incidents, Holness said. I have instructed the Ministry of National Security to investigate all instances of public mischief. Holness told JUTC drivers that all necessary measures would be in place to ensure their safety and security so they could continue to provide the public with transportation services going forward. I also wish to commend the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch of the police force for their swift action and the provision of service with limited resources, he added. My thanks also to the many taxi operators who continue to fulfill their responsibility to the public even amid the disturbances. Owners also offered his sympathies to the families of the JUTC employee and the taxi driver who were killed. Mackenzie pursued new regulations to address dog attacks. Local Government Minister Desmond Mackenzie says the government will be working to close the regulatory loophole that has been exposed through the recent mauling of the St. Richard's primary school teacher by pit bulls last week in Coopersville, St. Andrew. Mackenzie explains that Section 51 of the Local Governance Act of 2016 gives the Municipal Corporation or city municipality the power to make regulations for the keeping of animals, including dogs. However, he disclosed that those regulations depend on the development of policies that will have to be approved by Cabinet. The advice received from the Office of the Chief Parliamentary Counsel is that a clear enforcement framework with all the modern restrictions and penalties will have to be established for these regulations, and will have to create the administrative support that will also be needed to make them effective. There are very old and less than comprehensive laws dating back to the 19th century, but the controls we need now will have to include not just stray dogs, but specifically dog attacks, the treatment of dangerous dogs that escape from private property into public spaces, dog breeding, and the conditions in which dogs are kept by their owners, Mackenzie outlined in a statement. Further, he said he will also be having consultations with the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, and the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw, who he said both also have a clear policy interest in the issue. Additionally, Mackenzie said he intends on meeting with a cross-section of public and private sector stakeholders, such as the police, the private security companies, local authorities, Jamaica Customs, and the Jamaica Veterinary Medical Association, to develop a clear and comprehensive policy recommendation to Cabinet so the new regulations can be quickly drafted and approved. End violence and SOE will cease, says Chang. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang has said the ongoing state of public emergency SOE in St. James was not designed to be a long-term measure and will end once the rampant lawlessness ceases. Chang was responding to complaints by stakeholders in the entertainment industry that the SOE was negatively impacting the earning capacity of players in that sector, who are being constrained by the lack of policies being enforced by the security forces. However, in explaining the purpose of the SOE, the Security Minister, who is also Member of Parliament for West Central St. James, made it clear that it was designed to curtail lawlessness and that once that objective was achieved, there would be no need for its continuation. The primary purpose of the SOE is to reduce crime and violence, particularly murders. However, it is not something you can maintain forever in a community, and in fact, the shorter time you have it, the better off you are, explained Chang. Responding to complaints by some promoters that the police are not operating with an even hand as they are allowing some promoters to go beyond the hours they are enforcing on other promoters. Chang said it was as a result of a flawed system, which allows the police to use their discretion instead of being guided by a set policy. That is something we will be looking at as a part of our plan to take a look at the Noise Abatement Act and other issues relating to the entertainment sector, explained Chang. We consider entertainment an important and legitimate industry, and everyone is in agreement that reggae music is a significant component of brand Jamaica. Mayor pleads for help to stem flow of illegal guns to Jamaica. Mayor of Montego Bay and Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Councillor Homer Davis, has made an impassioned plea for more to be done by security officials in countries such as the United States of America and Haiti to stem the flow of illegal weapons into Jamaica. Speaking at a forum put on by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI, at the Montego Bay Cultural Centre on Monday, September 23, entitled Scamming, Gangs and Violence in Montego Bay, Mayor Davis said those countries are the main areas from which illegal weapons are shipped to Jamaica. He said if the flow of illegal weapons to Jamaica is stopped, he is confident that the rate of gun murders in Jamaica will be significantly reduced. Mayor Davis said, if we can stop the flow of guns, we would not empower these gangsters or scammers. There would not be anything for them to buy. We are not in agreement with scamming. We know that people, pensioners, have suffered immensely as a result of the action of these scammers. What we are saying to our partners is, help us to police our space. Help us to restrict the flow of arms. We have over 1,000 kilometers of shoreline. We are 1,000 kilometers from the United States of America. We are less than 500 kilometers from Haiti. And these are the points of departure for these weapons that come into Jamaica. Mayor Davis said back in the day when the ganja trade was rampant in Jamaica, there was a concerted effort by officials of Jamaica's major trading partners to stamp it out, and a similar push is required at this time to address the shipment of illegal guns into the island. He pointed out that based on information from the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the gun remains a weapon of choice for criminals who continue to drive fear into the hearts of law-abiding Jamaicans. On the issue of scamming, Mayor Davis said it is a case of a good turning bad, as call centers which provide sustainable jobs for several thousand Jamaicans gave birth to the practice. Today I asked the question, how did we gain that label of being the capital of scamming? It was never a part of our culture. Our citizens were exposed to the technological age in the early 2000s, and as such, a number of our young people were employed to the call centers here in Montego Bay. And from that, they were taught in some instances by persons who thought they could be used as confidants, Mayor Davis stated. Meanwhile, Mayor Davis is expressing satisfaction with the development of Montego Bay, even in the face of the negative effects that scamming, murders, and other antisocial activities have had on the city. He noted that even with the prevalence of murder, we have seen the economy of Montego Bay growing at a much faster rate than the national economy. Over the last 10 years, over 10,000 new housing solutions have come on stream. We have seen the development of Barnett Tech Park, the developments of the Fairview Commercial Centre, the Witter Village Shopping Complex, the expansion of the BPO sector, over 8,000 new hotel rooms coming on stream, and an additional 4,000 in the making. In other words, Montego Bay is very unique. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.